people who if it's not, if it's you do your very best in the moment.
You know what?
And then onward. Then
and
next.
I've had to step up, working with a client. Step up while she's with the client in reception and say, no, that's not how it happens. You sit and wait for me, and I'll take care of you.
All right.
As this is a girl on a second contract. She's sending her client home. And I've literally had to pop up like a groundhog, go to the cube. No, excuse me, that's not how this works. You sit down. I will take care of you.
Okay.
And she comes into my cube on Friday, and I'm doing a signing, and this is the money shot, the signing, right?
Yeah.
That's what we get paid for.
Yes.
Right. So these IBEPs have to be signed, and it's just a for-profit company, right? And she comes into my cube, and she says, "Oh, are you busy right now? Are you doing a signing or an initial?" I said, "Rebecca, I'm doing a signing." She said, "Oh, because I just want to figure out who's taking the next two clients." It's like, bitch, take the client and then take the next one if you have to.
Do you think that this is someone who's been doing this for 5 years and is burned out, and you're
No, I don't know. I don't know if she's been getting away with it.
Yeah, but you're okay. Well, all right. But I mean, you're fresh, relatively fresh to the.
No,
not 3 months.
I've been to worse places than this. Drug treatment.
But that particular. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, she's not performing.
Okay.
She's just taking advantage. She's
really
on the phone all day.
Like a civil servant, like one of those, where the reason they mock city workers, they just okay.
Yeah, and even my very efficient worker, who I think has this crazy mechanical brain, she's not empathic at all. And I love her. She's so on point with her brain. Makes sure everything is done. All the reports.
That's a skill that but that's rare.
I need that in my life.
Mm-hmm, right.
Right, because that's not me.
Because you've got the empathy, though.
Yeah.
And she'll never have that because you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
a good way to, But still, I think that would be, yours would seem to be a job that would require a certain...
Yeah, and she wants to be a mental health counselor, And she's doing hotline calls. And she's like, I don't even counsel them. I just find them a referral local to them. And
that's too bad.
And
people need help.
I'm like, well, you're not getting this piece at all.
But she does have the
more
more
left brain, right?
Yeah, right. Like I can't do math, but
Yeah, but she's a machine when it comes to paperwork and reports. And, I get dizzy listening to her doing an interview.
But yours is she does the brain, you do the heart.
She just goes through like a machine.
Wow. I have respect for that. It's not me by a long shot, but I have respect for it.
I can't do it.
I can probably do something with it. All right. So, okay. So it's difficult to, and then, so you've enjoyed it to this point as far as it is.
Fine. It's
Is it a relief? Would you rather be doing in a different world what you did before?
It's a big pay cut.
Yeah. Well, there's that. Right.
Insurance sucks.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. And it gets me out of my head.
Yeah, no, I do that. I need a task will do that, but you have to schlep up there and
the traveling.
Gas for air and
even though I'm closer, the traveling is still hard,
mm-hmm.
and it's exhausting. I mean, sick to my stomach.
But you managed to somehow navigate it.
Yeah.
And did people at work know that you have issues?
The supervisor, Ariane, knows because I've been friends with her for 5 or 6 years. My supervisor knows because my other supervisor told her, when he comes over there, he needs, certain things. He has to go to appointments, and she's like, she knows, so she's ready to accommodate.
In your corner.
And Rebecca knows that I have a lung issue. I don't. The director doesn't know.
Okay.
I don't know how much he knows,
but he sees someone who shows up on a near daily basis and does the job.
Yeah. No, I'm producing, absolutely.
That's sort of heroic.
Oh my God, no, it isn't. So.
How not?
Because listen to this. I'm sitting there. We have a huddle, and I look across the room, and it's this girl from school. Now, I even feel bad saying this. She's not physically the most attractive person in the world, right? And when we went to school, she was a little shut down and Brooklynish, You know, she's a girl from Brooklyn.
Attleboro.
Well, you know,
Yeah, of
just how
course.
Brooklyn people can be. Not even that she was Italian. Her last name is like Lagerfield or something. But you know, just Brooklyn shut down. Don't show it too many feelings. Whatever. Blah blah blah. And she had disappeared off social media, and I haven't seen her face in a couple of years. And so I'm like, Jasmine, I'll go and talk to her. I'm like, what's going on? How you doing? And I just get this total different energy from her, right?
What was the new energy?
It was just like light and love
Oh.
and
Sure, it was the same person?
yeah. So I'm talking to her, and she's like, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to find out who I am. I've been through a lot, you know, since we've last seen each other. And I noticed the trach scar on her neck, on her throat, but it doesn't register. And so we meet later to talk. And she was walking to the subway one morning in Bay Ridge, and a truck came around the corner and hit her in the crosswalk.
Ooh.
Broke everything, but two of her ribs were broken, punctured both of her lungs, and she was actually dead.
So she was completely collapsed. She was
She was dead. And they brought her back, and you know, she was hospitalized for months and rehab and you know everything, but she had the experience of death.
Right.
You know, so she was a totally different person.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm like, listen, I want to have lunch. Let's have lunch and talk about this. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. She's like, finally someone I can talk to who, you know, everybody judges me. I'm like, no, you gotta tell me more. You gotta tell me more.
It was like the way the prison guys like, tell me more of your story. I want to hear. You in a compassion, you just want to know what happened.
I want to know the experience because I've had experiences, you know, that I've shut myself down to, you know.
So she was stoic and shut down, and now she's
wide open. You know,
well,
that's what I got from her. As
right.
soon as I gave her a hug, it was like, oh my God, she's so open.
Amazing.
Yeah. And she said, what's different about me? I said, you're just open. And she said, yes.
Wow.
She said, that's it exactly. She said, that's how I feel.
And probably you would see that even more acutely because you knew her the other way. Someone would meet her now not knowing any contrast.
Yeah. So, you know, like every
her.
morning we do an after huddle hug, you know.
Do you guys really do it every morning?
Yeah.
That's cute.
And, you know, we have lunch once in a while. And I call her the miracle baby.
She is. She was reborn that day, right?
Yeah.
I had the meningitis, but I have never been run over by a car.
A truck.
It's just no words.
A truck.
No one should survive that. But I'm glad she did.
And she's like, no one understands. You know.
I guess no one does. I mean, unless you've had that experience. You've had the bottom out, close to death experience.
No, but no one will, accept. You know, they're not capable of accepting what she experienced.
Yeah.
You know, that people aren't open to it. And she's like, my family went through so much, and you know, this, that, and the other thing.
She sounds like a decent chick.
Yeah. She's really a sweetheart.
Isn't that nice?
And I really feel love for her, compassion.
That's amazing. And then just back that someone like could come near death, they could be bitter about that forever, but she decided to.
Who was I talking to? A professional. Oh, I was talking to my landlords. I told you I just walked into the office, right? And they're like, why didn't you appeal that case? I said, so what do you want me to do? Run around the rest of my life chasing after something I'm never going to get,
yes,
you know,
right.
and end up some miserable old fuck, even though I ended up.
Not entirely. Wow, no, that's one of those details that I accept on faith because you say it, and I respect it. I think it's fantastic. I don't know that I would have the, you know, you're not calling it Christianity or love. You're just saying, fuck it, let it go. I think that's great.
I've seen too many people try and explain their life away because they were disappointed about something.
Yeah, and that's all. It's tedious, isn't it?
I don't want to be that person.
Okay, and you're not. You never have been. You have reason to be, and maybe those people have reason to be too. But I think people don't dig it.
Mm. So, you know.
It's the old accepting what you can't change.
Yeah, you know, and it's not even program related. It's fucking.
No, I know,
real.
but
it's like I've seen the reality
right.
of people not accepting things they can't change.
Right, and what are they? They're just kvetches. They're what you
fucking
Jews would
miserable.
call a kvetch. Just so always disappointed with everything, and you
Yeah.
can't. They snap at the deli guy, and they hate
David
everyone, and it's
Spigen.
just
Oh,
that's him in a nutshell.
You see him now?
I can't.
Have you seen him?
Yes,
Walking
I
around with a cane? Yeah, and then when he's not in the program, he doesn't have a cane.
That's gross. I didn't know that part. Just know that every time he gets a
it's
job, he fucks it up, and it's always the other person's fault. And I'm inclined to sort of like him. I've known him the whole time I've been sober. Slightly.
Right. But it's just like, dude, you're gonna get high again. You are.
It's amazing he hasn't.
Oh, he will.
And
I'm
he's,
sorry.
And I suspect he's probably doing some kind
Yeah,
of maintenance,
yeah, yeah.
He's so...
But
yeah.
it's so, for me, it was really interesting what the brain can do. It put me through all this physical shit, Like they checked me for meningitis, they checked me for stroke, and it was all just psychological, stress related by
Yeah.
reacting to shit the brain isn't processing, and it's just so interesting, right? But you get past it.
One would hope.
Wasn't it funny that they thought I had a stroke, right? They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and it was my brain.
Right. I mean, like that's
all psychological.
But that's the
Right.
direction. We're all just thinking, like, I'm 55. I'm too old and I'm too tired to just do that over and over
He
again.
sits there. He comes in moaning. Oh, they think I had a stroke. And I've seen him walking around without the cane
Oh, that's very telling.
outside of the meeting, and I've seen him at the meeting come in the same way, limping.
So he just comes in for sympathy? I mean,
He
the
comes
world,
in for misery.
the world isn't going to give him sympathy because they probably don't care if they don't know
don't-
him from Adam.
Dave doesn't. I don't think he expects sympathy at this point.
He
He just wants to spread his misery.
I hope you don't mind my saying, but Paul V said, he goes, there's two guys, and there's Skeegan, and there's you, Brian. And Skeegan's an asshole, and Brian's got an attitude everyone should want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
No, I don't know what the context was, but he's like, because he's so over. I mean, he likes you very much. He's like, he thinks you probably have reason, you have some problems, and you're funny, and you get it, and you have a good attitude. And he's just so over Skeegan. He's just so beyond.
Such a fucking
He's just tiresome. Like, he's not the worst guy in the world, but he's
the
just
negative
so...
energy is
Right. He's just so...
Who can afford
like,
it?
I know, I used to think he probably had a mean wife. He didn't have a mean wife, or maybe he did,
Listen,
but his kid hates him.
I'm so confused over why anyone would marry him in the first
No, that was...
place.
I'm baffled. He is,
I
he is
don't-
lacking
I don't-
animal magnetism,
I don't
shall we
know
say.
her, and apparently she was in the rooms before I came.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know her, but God,
But he said you were the anti...
he is a fucking incubus,
He
right?
said you were the anti. Yes, yeah, of course. But I wish to like him. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
He's not an axe murderer.
But listen, he's not gonna like himself.
No, how could you under the
So,
circumstances?
how
But he
long
won't
do we-
change.
They say we're gonna let us love you till you love yourself, but we have to give up at some point.
Right. So only so much we can do. Yeah. So that's tiresome.
Yeah.
Maybe he and Julie should get married. But I mean, she doesn't impose herself on the rooms.
And then there's this girl. What's that cute blonde girl's name? I don't even know her name.
Be more specific.
I don't know her name. I don't fucking care. Some girl who's like only about 3 million miles out of his league. And he thinks he's like hitting on her, has some kind of chance with her.
He does think of himself as having some game. He always has.
He said something to me. And in my mind, I think we all know her, but I don't really know her. She might sponsor some girls on Perry Street. Or sponsored probably in Perry Street. She's in Perry Street once in a while. She just has straight blonde hair. He says something about her when she walks in the room, and instead of laughing in his face like I wanted to, I made a comment like, oh, she is cute, or something. He's like, easy, leave some for me. I'm like, oh.
He said that recently?
Well, I don't know, it was like a year
5
and a half
years ago? Within the past 5
year
years?
and a half ago. I'm like,
Brian.
David, I have no interest in her.
Right.
I don't even know her.
Wow.
No.
But I mean, even for him to think that he had...
I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. But I mean, maybe back in the day he might have had a little je ne sais quoi. But
Yeah.
Or maybe not. All right, so that's
So that's my job.
okay.
I get people back to work.
I like the job.
Or no, I tell people this. I'm gonna try and match you up with something that you're gonna be comfortable in and stay in long term, right? To improve your life. So we're not assessing you, to judge you or anything. This is so you're comfortable in your work environment, right?
So it's a job placement of sorts for people who come through that particular stream.
HRA makes a
Or
decision.
Potential, yeah.
You're getting these benefits. We're paying your rent. We're giving you food stamps. You have to participate in this
I'm glad they
vocational
actually put in that, yeah.
rehabilitation service for from 20 to 35 hours a week, right?
They have to participate in the 20 to 35 hours a week while it goes
Well,
on?
yeah, there's 20, 25, 30, and 35, or there's unable to,
Okay.
work.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So, they've been seen by these doctors who have determined their functional capacity outcome is 20, 25, 30, or 35 hours a week.
Got it.
And so I get,
What are they about?
I get some very interesting people, who've just come out of prison after 30 years and they want to work. They've been working for 30 years for free
Right.
and they're ready to work.
And I'm sure
know.
you can relate to what they've been through.
So
and,
their
right.
disability is that they just came out of prison.
Right.
And
They're looking at a whole different planet in front
that's
of
a
them.
barrier to employment.
Right.
So we have to,
Oh, that's good.
help them find employment or education. And college is an option for people who score above a certain grade level on the academic testing
Right.
that we give them. And if as professionals we feel it's a reasonable option, we get to make that decision.
Okay. That you have an impact, an
Right.
enormous potential impact in the
So,
next phase of their lives.
I have to be reasonable in my assessments, and so when I get people, who I got this one guy who was 16 years old, his mother's boyfriend killed her, and he then killed his mother's boyfriend, and he just got out of prison. He's 40-something years old, but he's smart. He's got a high aptitude for everything across the board. He's a Puerto Rican kid. He did a lot of studying in prison, worked in the law library.
He did a lot of time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he got a life bid. And, he could potentially do anything. If he goes to college, he could, potentially do anything he wanted to.
It's like your parole officer saying to you, "You could do anything, Brian," and you're like, "You're right," but you didn't mind hearing it. I bet.
No, I was like, this guy's crazy.
But
I
you-
was really like, this guy's fucking crazy.
But you heard it. Maybe you said you're right, which I think I wrote in the manuscript. But it made an impact. You didn't mind him thinking that, even if you thought he was.
Oh no, Alan,
Turns
I
out he
was
was
highly
right.
offended.
Wow.
He put that on me.
Ah,
How dare you? I'm gonna let you down.
wow. Telling you once, I told you again. Why do all the worst people think they're fabulous, and all the best people have this kind of self-hatred? Get rid of that nonsense immediately. All right, so this is a decent. If it's not decent pay-wise, I guess it's not what it was.
No,
I understand.
There's definitely satisfaction in the job.
Good.
It's tough. The
It's a-
population we're dealing with.
Sure.
All the potential.
But you get to go home at the end of the day. You don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know. Do you take
I
it home
could
with
go
you?
home with bed bugs or smelling.
I meant more anxiety. Do you ever go home? Do you ever take the troubles at home with you, or it's like I'm
not
not?
not from the job. No.
Okay, because you'll be there the next morning anyways.
Yeah.
So how does the disability figure in? Just as a possibility for the future, or
Well, they've submitted.
Excuse me.
I believe they've submitted my case. And if they award me this permanent disability, I will take it, and because they need the Medicare, right?
right.
And you're legally allowed to work, I think, 20 hours a week.
Okay. Yes, I think that's right.
I'm sure I will get a minimal amount of money from them because my contribution over the years has been shit,
Okay.
until recently.
Okay.
And, I'm in it for the Medicaid, and I understand I'm going to have to find
that's-
other ways of survival, which I have some things lined up.
Well, legal, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, there are illegal options.
There are those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think you'll bury all of us, but it'd be nice for you to feel comfortable in your own reality.
Yeah.
All right, so that awaits you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so before I started this job, I had plans to go away for the whole month of August when I was doing well financially
Yes,
and
yes,
physically.
yes, I remember.
You know. And I had bought these tickets and stuff. And so when I took the job, I made a deal with them, you know.
I will start a little bit later than expected.
I'm not going to take the last 2 weeks of August off. I'm starting.
That was it.
I'm starting in June, but I'm taking the last 2 weeks
Right.
of August off. And so that's when I went to Spain, you
Right.
know, to be with my cousins who I love so much.
And then we're so happy to get home.
And I got really sick over there.
Oh, you told me that. It was terrible.
But I was so scared to go to the doctor, or because of the money. And when I finally had to go, it charged me $67.
Yes.
I was so resentful against this country.
People, John Paul got cured of his Hep C just by going to Portugal. Doesn't cost a goddamn thing. It costs $100,000 over here.
It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No, it's and I mean, I'm grateful I can pay, but we have to jump through so many hoops, and it's just, it's not right.
Did you even eat?
Yeah, I had a slice.
I didn't see
I wolfed
it.
it down. One. I mean, I'll show you the evidence. Do you want another one?
Probably.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so when I came back and I went to my doctor, and she gave me, I told you when I went in there, I was going to lay the law down for her.
Yes.
Do
Yes, you mentioned that.
I had four things I was going to tell her. And one of them was, you're not my psychiatrist and you have no business discussing my psychological, because she had said to one of the nurse practitioners, you know, the nurse practitioner and I were close, and she was like, you know, Brian's really not doing well, he's very depressed. And she's like, well, he needs to get over that. So I guess she thought it was related to my lung thing.
Uh-huh.
And the
Yeah.
nurse practitioner repeated it to me, and I've been holding on to that.
Ouch.
Right?
Yes, very uncomfortable.
And so when I came back this time, I was so sick, and I said, there's a couple things I'm gonna tell her. You know, I'm gonna tell her, fill out this paperwork so I can get handicap plates. I will never tell you how to do your job. When it comes to my psychological well-being, don't ever discuss with staff that I need to get over anything.
That's cringeworthy. I mean,
you know?
that's really, that's embarrassing.
I was getting ready, you know, to lay all this stuff down with her because she's like so cold and strictly business. And so after I did my test and I came into her office, and she's like, wow, you've been really sick, you know, over the past 6 months. You know, because they judge you on the amount of prednisone they prescribe for you, your conditions. And I've been basically sick since February. You know, like 2 weeks on, a week off,
Sure.
or half a week off, you know.
Yep.
And I said, yeah,
That's
I said,
true.
listen, I said, there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. I said, the first thing is, I need you to do this license plate paperwork, and I need it done today, because I have to get these handicap plates. I said, the second thing is, and she said, well, Brian, you're going to get whatever you want. She said, there's no way they're going to deny you because you're in really bad shape. And I was like, what? So I never got to the rest.
Damn! I wanted
She
to
was
say
like-
one more thing.
She was like, yeah, you're...
You never got to say
No,
it?
because now she was compassionate. Now she's a different person, right?
Because she took the totality in of your situation?
Yeah, yeah. So now she's like going to tell me that
Everyone, okay.
you're at end
Alright.
stage, and you know this is
Alright.
the end for you, right? So now she changes, and I never got to say the other piece.
Were you looking forward to it? Because we just for her to say.
No, I was just being pissed off.
Yeah,
you know?
no, but look, I think people do that because they're human. But it was very unprofessional.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. He needs to get over it. I mean, if she's saying that, and you know, I can understand, kind of, you're battling with something with somebody, and you're throwing something extra on top of it, right? So if I was depressed about the lungs, and that's the least of my problems. She's seeing 20 me a day. She might offhandedly say something like that.
Okay.
I understand that part, right?
I never didn't understand it, but it
had
happened
nothing to
to
do with
you.
my lungs, you know?
Correct.
It had nothing to do with what we were doing in her office.
Right.
You know? I showed up, I participated, I excelled in her program, right?
Yes, you did.
They let me out early, right?
Wow. Okay.
In the rehab portion, right?
Wow.
They let me out early. How do you excel in a pulmonary rehab program? I did.
I kept breathing, damn it.
I know. I was released early. They said, "Listen, you're doing really well, and as long as you can keep this up by yourself, you know, you don't have to come back."
Well, you did things that people had to do. You didn't. You probably took instruction. You probably,
Yeah.
you know, you did. Oh, yeah.
I lost weight. I exercised. I did, you know, I did treadmills.
At that godforsaken temple gym.